Such a journey for Christian through 3 films. How do you see his journey in this last film?
It's very different. You know, he's come so far from this sort of very sort of unpenetrable, odd, sort of quiet guy that we meet at the start of the first movie, and I think he's grown up so much, and he's developed so much, and like emotionally developed, in the biggest way you could ever sort of imagine when you first meet him, and that's all down to Anna, really, and the love he has for her and that she has for him, and I just don't think he's ever experienced love before, and I think it really benefits him, and everything's tested in the third movie. The relationship's tested, and there's outside influences that come in and shake everything up, and it's how they get through that and deal with that, and yeah, it's a big change from when we first meet him.
Hopefully not giving any plot secrets away, but there's a little part at the end where there's like flashbacks to their journey and their story. Yeah. And I was wondering, when you look back, when you started that first film and the journey till now, even just personally, how has that been?
Yeah, I have to say, I didn't know they were doing that in the movie. I hadn't, no one had told me or whatever, they sort of kept me out of the loop with that. So I found it quite emotional, that, because it served as a sort of reminder of the whole journey and where we've come from, and even from Dakota and I meeting, and I just think we look so much sort of younger then, and less jaded. That was only 5 years ago, 4.5 years, whatever it was. So I think the fans will love that bit, because it almost sort of takes that to remind people of the journey that the characters have come, but also that like Dakota and I have come through. So I think it's a nice thing.
I mean, it's a big responsibility to take on such a loved character. Mm-hmm. How has it been with dealing with the fans and dealing with this responsibility in a way?
See, the fans have been amazing, because they care so much, and they have very strong opinions about both Anna and Christian, and they were voiced in all kinds of ways when I was cast, and I'm sure they weren't all positive. I know they weren't, but you've just got to try to rise above that and do the best you can, and the fans who are on board with it couldn't be more, we couldn't get more from them. It's great when we're at the fan events or at the premiere and everything. You just see how much it means to these people. It's a very powerful thing, and it's a very cool thing to be a part of.
We have to mention a little bit about, I guess, in the beginning, the intimate scenes in the Red Room must have been a little bit challenging for you and Dakota to feel comfortable. I imagine by the third film, you must almost have a giggle by the time you do it. You must be so comfortable with this now. Yeah, and that's all down to trust, really. I mean, obviously getting to know each other over that time. I mean, they're tricky to see to film. Those sort of scenes are tricky anyway, but there's so many of them in these movies, and you have to totally implicitly trust the person you're trying to create that with. And by the second and third movies, Dakota and I had built an amazing friendship, and we just had that level of trust and respect for each other that helped those days. And the most abiding thing of doing all those things is humor and making each other laugh, and because you need that, you just need that to get through those sort of days, because sometimes they're hard. I just have one last question. We have a YouTube channel where we're asking the best career advice that you've ever received.
God, I don't know. And my dad has this piece of advice that he used to give me when I was a kid: life is not a race to the far end, so that like you don't have to have everything set and like achieve all these certain things. We've got time, hopefully. I know that doesn't always work out, but we've got time to find yourself and do what it is you want to do, and don't have to rush anything and rush into decisions. And I think that can apply itself quite well to the career of an actor. I think so. I try to sort of remind myself of that constantly.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.